Imagine you move from a place where you lived all your life. Imagine you move and you leave all your children and wife. Starting all over again, but no one you know is around. Well, they didn't have to imagine. They built it up from the ground. How does it sound? Not easy because it isn't. Could have praised them, but it didn't. But the Ray Bond, that's a winner. And they ran straight to the finish. You get to know them up close and personal. Wait, just give me a minute. Welcome to the front row. Can I get a drum roll? Intentional. We may be immigrants, but we are still intentional. We are dependable. It's just that set the bar, but still the best of all. We are intentional.
Welcome to the Intentional Immigrants Podcast. Here we look at immigrants and their journeys to settle in a new, unfamiliar place. They, as pioneers, have embarked on uncharted territories so that you will be able to share in their trials, challenges, joys, and triumphs. We will learn from them so that you will not make the same mistakes. If you're a new immigrant, take hope. There is light at the end of your tunnel. You are not alone. Others have gone before you, and they have left a light for you to see. Today's guest is BheBhe. She is a coach who has a passion for finances. Esther believes that all women should be financially savvy so that they can experience the joy of financial freedom. Esther and her family migrated to Canada from the country of Zimbabwe, formerly called Rhodesia. Zimbabwe gained its independence from the UK on April 18, 1980. Its capital is Harare. Its languages are English, that's the official language, Shona Sindebele, also called Ndebele, along with numerous minor tribal dialects. Let's listen to Esther as she guides us on her journey. Esther, thank you for coming on to the Intentional Immigrants Podcast. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, thank you for having me. I really feel honored to be part of this initiative. Well, my name is Esther. I am from Zimbabwe originally. I have 4 girls.
Okay.
And I have 4 beautiful girls that I'm really proud of. And I live in Fort McMurray, and I've been here for a couple of years now, I think about 8 years. Fort McMurray, I moved from British Columbia, which was a big city. First, some few years, it was like, oh, what am I doing here? But I've grown to like Fort McMurray, and I like being here.
Fort McMurray has grown on you, you're saying?
Yes, it has.
Okay. So can I ask what prompted the move from British Columbia? Because most people I know want to be in British Columbia because of, the weather is not so bad or so cold as in other places in Canada.
So like true, yeah. It was really a brave move, I should say. It came after we came back from South Korea. We had gone to South Korea for 2.5 years, where we spent time there teaching. Actually, it was a missionary work, but we were teaching South Koreans English. Okay. And when we came back, the economy wasn't doing so well in BC, and it was hard to find, good jobs. So that was actually the reason why I decided to come to Fort McMurray to look for greener pastures.
Okay. So did you have friends here? Who did you have here that you decided to move to Fort McMurray?
I had a sister, my sister, like a younger sister kind of thing. And she had been here for a couple of years, and she thought, well, I think, if you're looking for something better, I think this could be the right place. It's a small town. The weather is not that great, but job-wise at that time, Fort McMurray was booming. So I decided to take that leap of faith.
Okay, that's good. And you say you have 4 girls?
I do have 4 girls, yes.
When you came here, what were the ages of the girls?
The younger ones were 4 and 5.
Okay. Okay, then.
Yes,
4 and 5.
they were pretty young by then. Yes, and the two older ones were like 18 and 14, I think. Yeah.
Okay, okay. How did they adjust? Because they're just coming from South Korea
We
and coming to Canada, right? Am I correct? Or did I get that?
Oh, okay. Well, okay. I thought you meant coming to Canada. They were that young when we first came to Canada. But when we came from South Korea, they were like the younger ones were like 13 and 12.
Okay, so let me get the timeline correct. You came from Zimbabwe to Canada, British Columbia.
Yes.
Am I correct?
First, we went to the United States. We lived there for 1 year.
Okay.
And then we came to Canada in 2012.
Okay. And how did you come to Canada to begin with? Did you come on a work permit, study permit? Did you do your paperwork and came as permanent residents?
We were in the States, and it wasn't easy getting papers there. And so we decided to cross over to Canada.
Okay.
And then we accepted to be here in Canada. So that's how we.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have you had the chance to return home?
I have. I've been there twice since then. Yeah.
Okay, good. What do you miss most about Zimbabwe?
Zimbabwe is a laid back country, so to speak. People take things, a little easy. There's nothing to hurry for. They seem to have all the time in the world. So those are some of the things when I'm in a rush here, rushing to get here and do that. Like I don't have the 24 hours that I used to have back home. So it's something like here I have honestly like 11 hours out of 24. So that part of it I do miss, because back home you can go to work and go and visit and go like the day is stretched out, so that part of it I do miss for sure.
Okay, that's good. What place or activity would you recommend to someone visiting your country for the first time? A must see, must have, must experience.
I would say the Victoria Falls.
Victoria Falls.
It's a must see when you go to Zimbabwe. It's one of the 7 natural wonders of the world.
Okay.
Yes, it's the largest waterfall in the world, so to speak. It's just captivating. It's a great place to be. You might also want to go and see the Wange National Park. That's a great place where you get to rub shoulders with the wild out there. So those are some of the great places really that you don't want to not see.
Okay. Those are a must see.
Yeah.
All right. Tell us about, you are offering a service, right? That's what you do presently.
Yes, I do that on the side. Yes.
Okay. So tell us about the service that you do offer.
One of the things that being here in Canada, I regret not having known when I came first here. It's what has made me do what I do. This is one of the things that keep people up at night, apart from health. And this is the finances.
Okay.
Money is at the core of the things we do. Mm-hmm. And it is the longest relationship we can ever have. You can have friends.
Go slow. It's the longest relationship we can ever have.
It's the longest relationship you can ever have.
With money. Okay, then tell us about.
You can have a husband. You can have children. You can have cousins. But the finances, you will need finances until the day you go down. So it's the longest relationship you can ever have. You can have friends that can come and go. You can have a husband that he can come and go, but money stays with us.
That's an interesting person.
I'm not saying that we should make money our God, but what I'm saying is we need it. Mm-hmm. Since I've been here, and I always say, if only I knew what I know today about finances, I think I'll be at a better place.
You'd be in a better position. Okay.
Yes. That's one thing that keeps people up at night.
Okay.
That's one thing that we work hard for, but in most cases, we don't know how to take good care of. That's one thing that every day, most people we have to use, right? It's either with ourselves here, for ourselves here, or we have to send it home, or whatever, for whatever reason, we do rub against money every day.
Every day.
Why most of us immigrants left our countries to come here.
Economics, yes.
Yes, it's one of the reasons why.
Yes. For most immigrants, it's economics.
Yes. So what I do, actually, I help and support families so they can understand what money is, to give them the tools, the strategies, and the concepts that they can use to build wealth for themselves and for their families.
Okay.
My mission is to educate and close the financial gap in women and marry together our spirituality and finances. I believe that God is interested in our finances as much as He's interested in our health and in our spiritual growth. And I also believe that every woman needs to be financially savvy, have financial freedom and financial independence. So how do we do that? Is through coaching. That is having a conversation. This is where, I create a platform where people, feel relaxed, and it's a free, non-judgmental platform where people can actually dig into themselves to find out, what's going on in their lives. So it's a time where one-to-one I can give you time to share, to learn, to explore, and really get to find out your money blueprint. Sometimes I believe that it's not the lack of money thereof, it's just our habits. It's just, how we relate to money, how we view money, how we feel around money that makes us be where we are. But when people are in an environment where they can really dig deep into their inner selves, they might find that there are roadblocks, there are things that come in between them and finances. And like I said, in most cases, it's the habits, it's the ingrained, feelings and experiences that we have had or that we have gone through around money that stops us from attracting or having a lot of it.
Okay, thank you. How did you get involved in this business?
I do, from my education, I did accounting.
Okay.
So I do have a Bachelor of Business Administration in accounting. And I did work a little bit in the accounting field, but as accountants, we're taught to manage someone's money, just to deal with the paperwork of money. Yeah. I did work at a bank in Vancouver, and I saw how people get trapped in debt. So that was one thing also that kind of gave me an interest in this field of how do people get trapped in so much debt. And also, not that people don't know money, but I realized that there must be something that maybe people do not know. So that love of saying, how can I do it differently myself? Was within me. And I did work also for a corporation as a financial analyst, and also that had to do with money as well. So I kind of had interest in numbers, but not in the form of working with numbers, but in the form of translating that into something bigger and better that could be helpful for people. So I have had that interest for a long time, and I've been wanting to make a difference in people's lives and make their lives a little bit better. So when I got to know about more about finances, personal finances, and the importance of knowing how to do financial planning and knowing how to take care of the monies. I kind of thought, well, I'm sure there are a lot of people who are struggling with money. And that started the journey into really learning more about this and discovered that a lot of Canadians are suffering, when it comes to money. And especially women. My studies and my training has shown me that there is a big knowledge gap. What women should be knowing and what they know. And as I do my work, in most cases, I do notice that gap. And it's the passion of mine to want to close that gap, to help women understand that they need to know about money. They need to know, have a healthy relationship, let me put it that way, with money.
Okay.
Not just there, but also that families need to bring the money conversations on their dinner tables with their children and teach children to have a healthy relationship with money from a young age.
Okay, thank you. Share an experience that blew you away in terms of the impact of your service.
Oh, interesting that you asked that question. I do come across this each time I sit with someone, and or it's either a family or just an individual, educating them and also, supporting them in whatever they might be needing, because finance is broad, it's not just a straightforward thing, right? And the needs of people are different as well. So I did sit down with this lady. She's in her late 50s, and just having a conversation with her, because this is what I do, just to have a conversation with somebody. Realize that she hadn't started saving for her retirement. When you're in your 50s, retirement is around the corner, right?
Yes.
If we don't have anything saved for retirement, it's a cause for concern, right?
That is true.
And in having protection, she just didn't understand this money thing, and she didn't know where to start. She was in debt, and we are all, and all those things. So I took time to educate her, to talk with her, to show her different avenues. And I should say that I'm grateful because she was willing to learn and also to change some certain habits. And to cut the long story short, we agreed to be aggressive, because at that age we had to be aggressive when it comes to savings.
Yes.
And we did find the loopholes where money was leaking, and try to close those holes and, have money that we can put aside. I should say that she has been faithful and diligently doing what she agreed to do in a lot of areas, and being able to put aside every paycheck a substantial amount of.
That's
so
good.
When she looks at what she has saved just for the couple of 9 months, and looking at what she had before then, I felt very good, and at a good place, that I'm living here at a good place. So to me, that says that it's possible. People can do it. It just takes knowledge. It just takes, awareness. It just takes making better decisions. And everyone can do something with their financial status.
Okay, thank you. Share a difficulty and the lessons learned as a result of that experience.
Difficulty. Money is a slimy topic. People do not want to talk about money. So I noticed that a lot of people, it's not that they don't want to do better, but they have fears to face what they have. And a lot of people, they have shame around that. They do not want to expose themselves. So that's part of the difficult. Sometimes when you're talking to people, they might shun you. They might, not want to talk about it, because knowing what I know and trying to help somebody, not that they don't want to, But just because sometimes of the situation that they are in, they might not be willing to open up. But I should say that it hasn't been as that difficult because I don't take certain things personal.
Okay.
I do understand that might not be the right time. Maybe someone might be going through something, but find ways on how I can engage them, in something that could be very, very helpful for them.
Okay. All right. Thank you. What's your personal philosophy or mantra?
Oh, mantra. My mantra is awareness, choices,
Yeah.
and outcomes or results.
Okay.
What that means is when I am aware of something, I can make better choices.
Okay.
And when I make better choices, I have better outcomes.
That's true. Yeah.
Right? I'm not just taking awareness on a surface level, I mean deep awareness. Let me take health, for example. We're all aware that when we eat well, we get healthy, right? And when we get healthy, we can make better choices to be healthy,
Yes.
right? We are all aware of that, but are we doing it? No, right? So that is just surface level awareness. When I'm talking of awareness, it's really having a good grasp of understanding that what health is, understanding that when I eat this apple, what will it do in my system? When I eat these fries, how is my system going to take this, and what is it going to do in the long run? That deep awareness of how does my body process the food? How does it react to certain kinds of food? And what can happen 2, 3, 4, 10 years going forward when I eat those kinds of food? So that deep awareness of your finances to say, okay, maybe I am in debt. What does that mean? How is it affecting my life? What will that translate into? That deep awareness of saying, yes, this is my current situation. This is not a good situation. This is, and then what can I do better? When I'm aware of what my health status is and what I want and how I want to be like and how I want to feel like, I'm bound to make better choices when I get up in the morning to say, what am I having for breakfast? I'm bound to ask myself better questions to say, what foods can I eat that can give me the right proteins or nutrients? I'm not just gonna, grab anything and eat it. So I will make those better choices. And in 10, what will that happen? What will that do for me? It can give me better health. Maybe I can delay certain diseases or illnesses because I'm making better choices. So my mantra is awareness, choices, and better results.
Okay. That will result in you making intentional choices.
Yes.
Because you're aware.
Yes, that will make me be intentional with what I do. And that doesn't really just mean in health only. In any other things, in relationships, in my finances, in my work, my career, when I have that awareness that can help me make the better decisions, better choices, and then I'm bound to have better results.
Thank you. That's true. Share a morning routine or ritual which has helped you well.
Oh my goodness. How I wish everyone could do this. There is this saying that says, on your morning, elevate your life. And says,
repeat that again.
On your morning, elevate your life.
Okay.
And the first hour of your morning determines how your day is going to be like.
Okay.
Now, I never knew that. I would wake up, rush, go out, and never had time for myself to nourish myself, to nourish my spirit, to nourish my mental capacities.
Okay.
So the morning routine is such a great thing. And I'm ever so grateful to have stumbled against this. I got this from the book called The 5 a.m. Club.
5 a.m.
Club by Robin Sharma.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good read.
Okay.
But I just didn't read it.
Mm-hmm.
I challenged myself to actually apply what I was reading. And that has changed my morning routine. That has changed my life at a higher level.
Okay, that's good.
So just having that time to be with yourself, by yourself, when the world is still sleeping, when everything is fresh and nice, and just take time for yourself. I wish everyone could have that. That 1 hour from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. Believe me, I always thought I was never a morning person. I never imagined myself getting up that early.
Yes.
But this has done so much for me, such that I cannot imagine myself doing otherwise.
Okay.
So that's my morning routine, just to have that 1 hour. And there's some things that you can do within that hour. You're not just having it, but the first 20 minutes, it's you move. The next 20 minutes, you reflect. The next 20 minutes, you grow.
Okay.
So the first 20 minutes when you're moving, that's when you're doing your exercising. It does something in you when you exercise. Next minutes, that's when you're doing the reflection, when you're doing your meditation, when you're doing your journaling.
Okay.
And then the next 20 minutes, that's when you grow. You can read something spiritual. You can listen to something that's growing you on a personal level, or, things like that. So this has been the best of the best things so far
for you. Okay, that's good. I need to find that book. I was just about to segue into a must-read book. Are there any other books you think would be helpful, books that you have read or are reading that has helped you?
Yes. There's one that I just read. It's also by Robin Sharma. It's called The Leader Without a Title.
Leader Without a Title, yeah.
It's a must read. It's a must read. It's it made me look at what I do differently.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it says you don't have to have a title to lead. We all can be leaders where we are planted, where we are.
Mm-hmm.
You can be sweeping the streets. You are a leader.
Mm-hmm.
You sweep the streets so well.
Yeah.
You can be a receptionist. You are a leader. Do your work with that leadership mindset. It just encourages people to say, if we can all be leaders, have the leadership mentality in things that we do, we can make the world a different place.
Yes, we can.
Mahatma Gandhi said, if all of us can sweep our doorsteps, we can make the world a better place. So if all of us can be leaders in the things that we do, whether it's your duty at home as a mother, as a wife, do it with the leadership mentality. You don't have to have a corner office. You don't have to have a title. In our jobs, if we can take our jobs with that leadership mentality, where you give it your best, can have a beautiful place in this world to live in. So I recommend 5 a.m. Club. I recommend The Leader Without a Title.
Okay, thank you. How can my listeners make contact with you?
Great question. Most of my contacts have been, through referrals, which is great. But I do have a website now called women@designliving.com. women@designliving.com. What that it means that we can design our lives the way we want it. We don't have to live the life that is defaulted by the events or the situations. We can actually design the kind of lives that we want. So it's called women@designliving.com, or you can call me 780-531-2723, or my email, leadbhe2011@gmail.com.
Okay, thank you. Esther, it was my pleasure having you on the Intentional Immigrants podcast. Thank you for taking your time and sharing your experience with us.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure just sharing the little that I have, and hopefully there's someone who can get something that could help them or change their lives.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you to the following persons and websites who made this podcast possible. Xavier Anderson for providing music. Today's guest, Esther BheBhe. Information about Zimbabwe can be found on www.contrafacts.com. If there's a guest that you'd love to hear from, feel free to email your recommendation to intentionalimmigrants@gmail.com. The Intentional Immigrants podcast is available on Google Podcast, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, I am your host, Yolanda Jack, reminding you, he who watches the wind will not sow. He who watches the clouds will not reap. Ecclesiastes 11, verse 4. You were born for greatness. Step out into your greatness so that mankind can benefit from you being here. So long, until next time.
We are still intentional. We are dependable. It's just that set the bar, but still